Hi Libra, welcome to your monthly reading. As always, keep in mind that this is only a general reading. Always take what feels right and with what does resonate within your own life experiences during this time. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, please contact me through the email I put in the description box below. For the month of March, as usual, I have a special sales offer available, and for this month it's called Lifting Up the Veil, and it's a reading that is focused on the theme of spirituality, what kind of energies are presented during this spiritual moment in your life, and as well what kind of hidden messages you have been receiving subconsciously. What do they mean? What kind of outcomes that might have in your awakened reality, and as well what kind of awareness that is trying to bring to you. So if you would like to know more details about that special or any other of my services, again, just email me. Or if you would like to donate and support my channel, you can do that by following the PayPal link, which is also down below. So Libra, I feel like March brings a lot to think about. You keep getting like there's so much to think about, that you end up being a little bit hold back by this energy of the mind that is almost like it consumes you, and you can't see much more beyond whatever it is that you're so concerned about. So in a way, March has this danger to make you feel somehow suffocated, closed off, with a lot of trust issues as well arising, because I feel like some of you are not allowing outside influences, you're not allowing people really close to you, you're not allowing, there's something here about Libras in March not allowing themselves to open up to more than, again, what they have set in mind they need to. But the problem is some of you are doing this out of the wrong reasons. It's like there's a fear to be involved, there's a fear to let someone in, there's a fear to get in close, allow an energy that you don't know or are familiar with or you don't trust to get into that proximity, because you're very attached to ways of being and perhaps routines in your home, within your family life, that do not allow much freedom. And one of the things that could be happening for some of you Libras in March is that your home life, your family could also be giving you here a hard time. You could be concerned with issues with family security, like providing for your family, making sure that the home has everything that it needs to be safe and comfortable. You could be concerned with the well-being of a loved one. There's difficult choices and decisions being made when it comes to the four walls. The four walls being a representation, again, of your physical home, but also your internal home. So your hidden places where you go to hide and protect yourself from the world, where you go to be yourself, where you go to feel comfortable, your deep emotional truth, it's in the spotlight and you don't want it to be, because there's something going on inside of that home that is not well. Some of you, deep inside internally, there's a state of depression or this state of there's something here about emotional victimization. So you could be really feeling victims of something that happened, and emotionally created this crisis, but you're hiding it. Like, it's not something that you're not emotionally communicating. Whatever it is you're suffering, Libras, in March, you don't seem to be able to speak about it. And that could be exactly the issue, is that you can't admit. For some of you Libras, you can't admit to faults. So you're emotionally feeling a victim, and you're having a hard time perhaps seeing a situation as your responsibility. You might be struggling to take responsibility with something because the guilt, you're fearing, you don't admit it because some of you Libras don't know how to carry the guilt that could come with that. And so you rather pretend that something is different than what it actually is. Some of you Libras in March might be relapsing to old negative patterns where you feel, again, a victim of life or people, or where you feel weak, where you feel betrayed, where you feel, let down, anything negative that you can think about that could mentally and emotionally assault you. There could be, again, this invasion of bad feelings coming up. But the worst thing that we can do is to suffer in silence. So for those of you Libras that are insisting in suffering in silence, it's going to make March be colored in this grayish tone, and putting in danger that the next month will also be colored that way. If you don't take this need to heal or grieve or assume or do or say something seriously, you could sink deeper again in the four walls energy, where no one can get you, no one can help you, no one can save you, no one can understand. Some of you don't allow, there's this persona to the public, and then there's this person behind the four walls, again, this person inside the home that is completely different. So for some of you, could also be that you're struggling to be yourself within those you live with. You could be struggling in opening up to the closest ones. You could be struggling with powerful control dynamics in relationships. Some of you, there's a message here that you shouldn't have allowed something to go this far. So it could be about whatever kind of emotional or psychological issue you have. You shouldn't have allowed this to go this far, or you shouldn't have allowed a situation that you know is not good for you, could be abusive here, to extend itself this far. Some of you will be changing your tactics. There's something here about the change of tactics when it comes to home life. So you could be reorganizing how things work in the household. You could be changing the way you relate with your closest ones. You could be changing the budget you put into the home, particularly if things are financially tight. Or you could be inviting here an energy that differs quite a lot from the energy that you have been living with. It's almost like perhaps adding, different elements, like that could feel as simple as the decor you have in your house, the furniture, the energies you put into the home. There's a lot of things changing in that regard. For others of you, that this is about a relationship, particularly for Libras that live with a significant other. Pretending that there's not a problem is a big problem. So if there are issues with your partner that need to be tackled, as uncomfortable as it might be, but you're avoiding doing it because there's going to be some either hurt feelings or just discussions and conflicts and differences of opinions that will come out of that. If you're avoiding moving in the direction of truth, and like hoping that the problem will just go away or fix itself alone, it won't. And the cost that it has for you, for your well-being, is enormous. Because I feel like some of you Libras are in relationships where you don't feel fed. So there's an emotional void that your relationships are not being able to fulfill, because there's something about you, about whatever it is that you're in missing on emotionally. It runs deeper than what you have in front of you. So it could be that for some Libras, it's a matter of not being with the most emotionally compatible partners, or not being, in the right relationship, or not being in the right mindset, in the right heart space to be in a relationship, because clearly there are things with the Ten of Swords and the Two of Swords that need to be figured out. So for some, that this is about love, just be mindful that you're very attached and possessive of what you have. But I keep getting like this feeling, is it love? Or is it conformity? Some of you Libras have mistaken love for security, material security. And you're, some Libras are paying here the price of previous choices you have made, where you failed to see the truth with the Two of Swords, where you failed to see how things were. The Two of Swords is an energy, particularly in the soul position, that is refusing to see the truth. It goes into denial mode. Everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is fine, until it crashes. So don't fall into the temptation to pretend you're not suffering, particularly with the closest ones. If you're suffering, the closest ones should be the ones hearing you out, should be the ones you turn to, should be the ones that you go to find some comfort. So if you're not capable to go find love and care and support to the closest ones you have, what are they doing there? What's their function? Or what are they doing there? Or what are you doing there? Some of you Libras in March can figure that you have abandoned some fundamental values, and this abandonment is costing you your happiness. So the purpose of March is to make you realize where you have been putting yourself in positions that inflict a deep, deep, deep wound and insatisfaction in the most private, intimate matters in your life. So, until this thing is sorted out, it could be that your family life, your home life, your emotional contentment, the deepest, closest relationships will be suffering because it's where this is most affected is in that area of life. So I hope you have a great month. Thank you so much for all of you that have been liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and donating to my channel. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see each other soon.